How exactly did I build this amazing flicker-free brass lamp with this simple yet satisfying control? I had already worked with brass once and built a simple miniature lamp, but that one was way too basic. This time I wanted something more challenging. So I sketched it in SolidWorks and then turned it into real life. Not without problems, obviously. At first I was dumb enough to believe I could bend a 2mm brass plate into required shape at home, without any tools, and make the lamp body out of it. Obviously I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. Bending it even once with the proper radius was nearly impossible, not to mention making several bends with the same radius. So my solution was to order a CNC-machined brass piece online. Honestly, that turned out to be a good solution, because I didn't even need to worry about cutting the hole for the USB-C port. It was done for me. Another problem, however, was soldering coupling nuts to that part, where all other pieces would be screwed in. Before you tell me in the comments that I'm dumb and could have had them machined into the CNC part, I want to say something in my defense. Ordering part with threads would have been more expensive, and ordering it with just the holes would mean cutting threads by hand myself, which I really didn't want to do with a hand tap. And don't forget, I am a soldering wizard, not a mechanical one. So soldering was my choice. Turns out that soldering nuts onto a big chunk of brass with great thermal conductivity isn't that easy. The solder melting point is about 200 degrees Celsius, and I couldn't even get the brass part that hot. I tried solder paste with a lower melting point. Same story. So I brought in heavy artillery. The issue was, I had already screwed the PCB into the nuts to align everything, and when I tried soldering with a torch, I just was burning everything. Not good. Definitely not good. While breathing in all that wonderful smoke of burning solder and PCB material, I suddenly had an idea. I have a freaking hot plate that heats up to 350 degrees. You know, learning is a curve. Before coming to a good solution, you usually have to mess things up first. Anyway, with a hot plate it went much faster. Who would have guessed? I flipped the part several times to solder all sides and fix the mess from my earlier attempts. After cleaning it with steel wool, it actually looked amazing. Like it was assembled by someone who knew what they were doing, not me. So the main brass body was finally ready. Let's move on to electronics. As always, I designed the schematic and PCB in Altium Designer. It's a 2-layer board controlled by an Atmega MCU, powered from a USB-C port, blah blah blah, nobody probably cares. But the important part is how the LEDs are controlled. Cheap lamps usually control brightness by turning LEDs on and off very fast, faster than human eye can notice. By adjusting the ratio of on and off time, or in other words, duty cycle, brightness changes. But this method has one extremely annoying problem: flicker. Even though we can't consciously see it, studies show that long exposure to flicker can cause headaches and other health issues. And if you've ever filmed a video next to a cheap lamp, you've definitely seen the problem. The simplest solution: don't turn them off. Use a constant current source with one transistor. But how to adjust brightness now? In my case, I generate a PWM signal from the microcontroller, feed it through an RC filter and use that average voltage to drive the transistor. For example, if the PWM has 50% duty cycle, the filter outputs around 2.5 stable volts. This way the LEDs aren't switched on and off, but instead their current is linearly controlled. No flicker, no headaches, no ruined videos. Easy peasy. One note though, this circuit doesn't provide ultra-precise current, because MOSFET gate source threshold vary depending on many factors. Also, different MOSFETs have different threshold voltages, so you may need to adjust the source resistor value. But for this project, the accuracy is more than good enough. Anyway, let's finally solder one board. Usually, if the board has only a few components, I solder them manually. Exactly. Why take advantage of the hot plate again and do it fast when I can just use the magic wand? By the way, 5 of these boards cost me around $5, excluding delivery. Pretty cheap, and way better than breadboards, in my opinion. I will put all the files needed to assemble this lamp on my Patreon, so you can just grab them, upload to PCBWay website, change the color or material if you want, of course, or even order 3D printed parts instead of CNC machined ones, if you want it cheaper. Basically, you can get most of the parts for this project in one place, PCBWay. And I would really appreciate if you use my reference link in the description when ordering. By the way, the board is still missing one very important component. This one. I'm using it to control brightness and turn the lamp on and off. It's a Rotary encoder and I love it for its sound and haptic feel. It's just so satisfying to press and rotate it, thanks to that clicking sound. Usually the cheapest option for control knobs in electronics is a potentiometer. Basically it's just a resistor with a sliding contact at the top. So it's an analog device, everyone knows how it works. But encoders are very different. Let's open this one and see. On one side there is a pair of springy contacts, positioned against a disc with metal teeth. When a tooth slides over the contact, it closes them and the output reads a logical 1. Same for the second pair of contacts. But here is the trick. The disc is asymmetrical, designed so that one pair of contacts closes first and the other second. This way the rotation direction can be tracked with a microcontroller. For example, if I rotate the shaft in one direction, the blue signal rises first, then the yellow. Rotate the other way and now yellow comes first. So the encoder outputs digital states that can be easily tracked by the MCU, using only 2 GPIO pins. Plus obviously one more pin for the push button, which is just a metal membrane that closes 2 contacts when pressed, making that satisfying click. Oh yeah, another nice thing is that encoder can rotate infinitely in both directions. Most potentiometers can't do that. So as I said, reading encoder signals is actually quite easy if you think of it as a state machine. There are only 4 possible states, because there are just 2 outputs that can be each 0 or 1. If you know the current state and then see which state it changes to, you can easily track the direction. Only a few lines of code are needed. For the button, everything is also very simple. I'm sure I don't need to explain how to read a button with a microcontroller. Unfortunately, the encoder's shaft wasn't tall enough, so I had to lift it up a little. Next, using the PCB as a reference, I drilled holes in the 2mm wooden deck and cut it manually with a jigsaw to the required size. Then I sanded it by hand. Yeah, I probably need to buy some power tools for these kinds of tasks, because biceps on my right hand is too big already. But eventually the main parts were in place. The LED filaments are attached to 1mm brass rods, which pass through the wooden deck and are soldered into vias on the PCB. For a long time I couldn't decide on the rod lengths, but shorter ones seemed fine for me. I decided to use 5 filaments in different colors that, in my opinion, go well together. You can order such filaments of different color and lengths on AliExpress. They are not super cheap, but not crazy expensive either. Each filament has a maximum allowable current of 100 mA, and at full current they are so bright that can practically blind you. So in the microcontroller software I had to limit brightness a bit. Also, at one point I thought the lamp might look better with a 3D printed transparent lid, which I also ordered from the PCBWay. But honestly, I'm not 100% sure about it. The filaments definitely need some kind of protection because they are fragile, but I'm just not sure exactly how to do it. If you have any ideas on how I could improve it, please write them in the comments. And don't forget to check out my previous videos, they are pretty nice. Love you, bye.